happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, welcome to middle of May. We're sort of in that zone where all we do now is just talk about people, hope someone gets signed, hope something happens fun and interesting in the league. But before we get started, I thought we'd take a moment to we're recording this on Mother's Day, so to give the special ladies in our lives a shout out. So I'll go first. I'll let you give a shout out. A shout out to my mom. Mom is actually driving up. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary on the Caribbean, so her and dad are driving up. So I already talked to her today. So thanks, Mom, for everything, and to my wife, who's a great mom to my kids here. So happy Mother's Day to you two special ladies.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Thanks to my mom. I guess I'll say thanks to my daughter's mom too, I guess, maybe. But no, I'm just kidding. She's a fantastic mom too. And she's also being promoted to like something higher in like the school board. So she's always been like a special education teacher, but she's like deeply involved, you know, with children, like with the kids. I mean, it's how like that's how you are as a teacher too. So I mean, that's how it should be. But she's been like promoting like the new school. I think they're building a new school because she's been trying to heavily promote it. I don't know what she's doing, but she's getting like, I mean, she does crazy. It's crazy how much motivation one person could have, and I'm like the complete opposite. It's insane. Like humans are weird.
We're all wired a little differently. So everybody pause the show for a moment, go thank your mom, or if your mom's not around, just take a moment to remember your mom and what she did for you, or somebody in your life who was that great mother figure. All those people counting in your life for you. We all have a different circumstance. But, you know, speaking of people that are motivated, we're going to talk today. We're going to jump right in. We're in that point of the time, like not really anything. I mean, I guess the biggest news this week is what will Russell Wilson do? Whoop-de-doo. Or Aaron Rodgers. Yay. Aaron Rodgers, we all know he's going to be a Steeler, but now he's getting all finicky because of the way the contract thing or that tag thing they put on
I just
him.
don't understand why they hold him so high on a pedestal. Like, I mean, just tell the guy, either you sign or you don't. I mean, we're the team here. We hold all the cards. Yeah, you're Aaron Rodgers, but you're not the Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago. If you want to go find another job, sure, but we're just going to move on.
It makes me, with this whole Aaron Rodgers hullabaloo, it seems like the Steelers are a different team than that team that, love them or hate them, you respect with the organization.
Man, it happened
right?
last year too with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. For the last 2 years, it's been that, like, why are we courting 40,000-year-old? I mean, what is he, 42 this year, 41, 42 this year? Aaron Rodgers, when they're not, I don't know. They've got some good players. Every NFL team could win the Super Bowl if everything falls their way. Well, okay, we say except for the Browns, the Dolphins, and the Jets. But and a couple others. But you know, they don't have that. They're not ready for a Super Bowl run. So why wouldn't they have, you know, reached out for, like, I mean, even like Malik Willis, I think would give them a better chance of winning than Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't. It's a weird. It's weird.
I don't get it. It confuses me. I mean, I feel like the teams hold all the cards, but I guess I don't know. It's stupid. Sorry.
Yeah, they've given him this power that, you know, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, I'm sure, but I've never liked the dude. But anyway, that's beside the point. Also, the biggest news of the week: will Russell Wilson be the Jets' backup quarterback? Or will Russell Wilson be a commentator? This goes into the category of...
Hold on. If you've got Geno Smith and Russell Wilson going in on your team together, I mean, who's the actual starting quarterback? I mean, is Geno Smith really that much better than Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson's going there probably because he thinks he can beat out Geno Smith, right? It's Russell Wilson.
I would think, but you never know. And there is one more bit of news for you, and that would be our boy Breece Hall. Breece Hall decided he wants to be the greatest quarterback. He wants to be worse than Steven Jackson at running back, I guess. Is that about right? But he's going to have He's going to have some money. 3-year, 45.75 million dollar contract extension with the Jets. 29 million guaranteed. Average. He's the third highest paid running back behind Barkley and CMC. I guess he just figured the Jets are such a defunct organization. They're just going to keep franchising him. This way, at least he knows he gets the money.
Right,
Is
good for
all
him.
I can figure out.
I didn't know. I don't think he's the third highest. Should be that third highest paid running back, but whatever.
Where does he? So where does he fall? Like, so if we're looking,
I just
I'll
feel like
pull him up
he's
while
like
you're going. I'll look at his half.
he's gotten to my point where he's just like some maybe like a mid RB2 with some possible ups with the possible. With possible
tier
upside.
4.
Yeah, I mean,
Fantasy
I feel like he's
Pros
a mid
tier
RB2 with the possibility of some upside. I mean, there's a chance. I'm like Jim Carrey. I mean, so you're telling me there's a chance, right? Sure. I am telling you there's a chance. But I just look at him as like if he was the RB2 on my team, I'd be okay with that.
And you're right on with Fantasy Pros. RB17. He totally reeks of zero RB drafting kind of guy. So he's going to fall. Who would you rather have here? Look, here's the guys in his range. I'm still amazed that Kyron Williams is the running back 5th. Like, he's dropping like a rock. That's just strange to me. Like, I think he should still be considered an RB1 ahead of Kenneth Walker III. Then you could argue the rest of them. But right now they have Breece Hall is behind Javonte Williams. Would you rather have Javonte in Dallas or Breece Hall?
I think I would rather have Breece Hall. Now that he got paid.
Okay, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs is RB14.
I think that's a toss up. But I mean, I would probably still go Breece Hall there.
Jacobs just seemed he had a good year last year, but the eye test just wasn't there for him. What about rookie Jeremiah Love, who could be in a hot mess express? And some of these guys we're going to hit a little more in a bit, but he could be in the. They could decide not to murder him this year.
If I'm in a dynasty, of course I'd want Jeremiah Love. I mean, if
of course. Let's just look at redraft.
I'm in a dynasty league. I'm trying, looking for a running. I mean, like, would I rather have Jeremiah Love or Breece Hall? I'd probably rather have Breece Hall for this year. I think he's just got paid, so I think he's going to get all the work. I think they might treat Love like they did Bijan in his first year. It was kind of disappointing. But then again, I mean, a disappointing year out of Jeremiah Love might be the ceiling for Breece Hall. So, I mean, might end up being exactly the same.
Yeah, true. Your former Ohio State running backs, Henderson in New England, Judkins in Cleveland, are behind.
I think that's right.
Breece Hall.
I think
it's about okay. I was curious because I think Breece Hall, if the Jets do anything right, to me, Breece Hall is a great running back.
If the offense is good, I think Breece Hall has the Jets can still only win 4 games, sure. But I feel like the offense is somewhat decent. Yeah. Breece Hall could have 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I'd be ecstatic with that. But I mean, it hasn't happened yet. So, and Geno Smith is the quarterback now. But to be fair, Geno Smith might be the best quarterback they've had in quite some time, which is dreadful.
And last year I talked about all offseason. Last year, Breece Hall finally did it. He finally got 1,000 yards, 1,065 yards, but his passing production went down. But it's just it's interesting now that I look at it. As I said that, I'm like, wow, a dude who eclipsed 1,000 yards by 65 yards one time is the third highest paid running back. Like, why do we think of Breece Hall so high? That maybe because I was going to say I'm looking at him and I'm looking at my boy Achane, and they're both on terrible squads, but you got Devon Achane at RB6 as like the greatest thing in the world, and Breece Hall at RB17.
I mean, it's clearly because Achane's done it ever since he's been. I mean, he has broken out. Breece Hall has never broken out of anything. We don't even know if he can break out of a wet paper bag at this moment. Well, I'm sorry, he's better than that. But I mean, he just hasn't. He came in the league with such high expectations, and we was like, "Ooh, Breece Hall, boo, yeah!" And he hasn't broken out yet. and it's disappointing.
I mean, 23 showed the signs. What we want out of Brees Hall is that 76 reception, 591. And then he had 9 touchdowns that year. So last year, 5 touchdowns just doesn't cut it. So we'll see what he does there in that Jets kerfuffle. But as we hit in here, if anybody's bored and you're in the off season, check out Fast Draft. They're a sponsor of the Fantasy Couriers. As we are getting into the season, people are getting that itch. You got your rookie draft done. You want to do just a fun little quick draft. Check out Fast Draft. You can get on board this train before it becomes the next cool thing. Download the Fast Draft app, use the code Couriers, and they will match you up to $50, and they give us a kickback. So hook a brother up. Let's be honest here. They are a sponsor of the Fantasy Couriers. So thanks for supporting us, Fast Draft. Everybody check it out. I got to do my first one. Actually, I did very well on Fast Draft last year. Now, the last few weeks after the draft, we've been talking about the rookies, where they landed, what we thought of some of their places, and we tried to hit some rookies. And the goal of the Couriers is to try to hit some of those players maybe everybody else isn't talking about. I get kind of bored this time of year because all the podcasts are doing, here's the top 10 running backs. Okay, let's talk about CMC and Barkley and Bijan and Gibbs all the stinking time. And every show's doing the same thing, the top 10 receivers. But you don't win your league unless you draft all 10 of those guys. You win your league sort of later on. You look at what's happening within that. You win your league in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round of the draft. And sometimes with some free agents are in the later rounds of the draft looking at guys. And that's sort of been our goal, I believe, from the get-go of the Couriers. So we're going to look today at people who who are affected or may be affected by the draft. Rookies were drafted. Either you were affected positively or you were affected negatively through the draft. And we got a couple guys we're going to throw out here, and I'm going to close out with a guy that I think we're going to disagree on. Other ones I think we pretty much agree on how they were affected. But I'm going to start us out, JJ Wang, by throwing out the low-hanging fruit. We talked about him briefly, so it won't be a long discussion, but my boy Tyler Algier, I have articles written about how great Tyler Algier was going to be this year because he had talk about a situation. I was like, he's the next Michael Turner. He's going to be great. And then at the end of the first round, there comes Price being drafted by the Seattle Seahawks. And Tyler Algier just basically got stepped on. What would you say would be the ceiling for Algier this year? Because Price is just flying up draft boards, Dynasty, redraft. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would be. It's pretty much exactly the same. Say what it was in like Atlanta last year. Nothing. I don't think anything changes. But I think he plays the exact same role. He has like the exact same numbers. It's highly disappointing. I was all into it. I thought he would get his shot, but he's clearly not going to get to. So I mean, he's middling, man. He's going.
Is he a guy? I have Tyler Algier. Is he a guy that I should trade him to the Love owner, or try to? What should I accept for? I mean, or do I hold him in case? I mean, we've seen rookies like a guy we'll talk about later. First couple games of the season, tear their ACL or something crazy. That happens. Algier all of a sudden is worth a first round pick.
Yeah, sure.
Do I try to get a 2027 pick at this point for Algier, or do I waste a roster dynasty spot on him?
Yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee you what you could get for him, but I mean, it like just depends on the feelings of the guy you're trading to. I mean, if he's the type of player that wants the backup, and you're definitely going to get a better deal out of him than if he's, one of those players that really doesn't care if he has, the backup. I mean, some people don't really bother with, other teams' backups.
So maybe
it's like, I mean, you go to the Love owner and you're like, hey man, do you want Algier? And he's like, sure. And he gives you like a future second or something. You're like, oh, I'd be all about that, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, sort of as an aside, maybe ask him, hey, do you have life insurance? And if he doesn't have life insurance, don't even worry about it. Just keep Algier. And then later on, just throw it at him.
maybe you're one of those, owners that like having backup running backs and you want to keep him. And I don't see there's no harm in that, because if something were to happen, we've seen what Algier can do when he gets carries, and that might be like a gold. Now, you're risking it. But I mean, it's Tyler Algier in a future second.
I mean, we know Algier, he's got 2 years where he had 4.7, 4.9, but he also yards per attempt, and he has also 3.6, 3.7. So, yeah, I agree. Like, I think it's probably more of a hold because owners are going to want to give you like a third. And
Yeah, yeah,
I'd
you're
rather
definitely
have
not
you.
going to get a lot.
You're gonna have to waste a roster spot. But if you're in Dynasty and it's run as it should be, you should have large rosters. It's interesting to see. I see some leagues where they run these really small rosters. Like, dude, the point of Dynasty is the waiver wire is pretty much useless. So
But
just
I mean, also, if you're a loser team and you're trying to get draft picks, I mean, yeah, sure, go out there and trade him. So, I mean, if you're trying to win, I mean, holding on to him is cool. But I mean, if you want to lose and you're looking into acquiring draft picks, sure, trade him away.
yeah, it depends. Like, I don't think I'd take outside of a second. Like, someone's gonna offer you like a. I've been offering. I got a terrible team. I got A-Chain, and I'm like, I'll throw him out there. I'll give him away. I'm like, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm probably stupid about what I'll take for him. But I'm getting these low ball offers of like a couple of jobbers and a late first round in a 16 team draft. I was like, 13th pick overall, 16th, something like that. I said, am I overvaluing him in that trade? I don't think so. Like, and especially the 16 team league, you can't.
But once people know that you want to get rid of somebody, you got to work through all the nonsense to actually find the guy
Yeah.
that's going to. Because there's a lot of those nonsense guys. They like know you want to trade somebody, and they're like, "All right, this is what I'll give you," um, and it just is in that situation. It's just not really a one trade, one time trade. Hey, I'll accept that. It's you're gonna have to go back and forth for
Okay.
a bit,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. So who's your guy? Who do you got? Who's the guy affected by the NFL draft?
Well, this one's more of also has to do with an existing player, and that's I'm going with Devonta Smith. Of course, we know there's AJ Brown may get traded, and that was beside all the rumors they drafted a first round receiver and Malachi Lemon, so we would so we would expect AJ Brown to be traded, Devonta Smith move into the number one, but now he also has to compete with a first round receiver that's going to be probably be starting from the jump, and it's been productive. I mean, so and they also didn't he draft a tight end too. That's pretty much
Yeah,
just a
they get
receiving type.
Howard.
Yeah, he's just pretty much like a bigger receiving guy. So they drafted two pass catchers. What do you think the expectation is of Devonta Smith finally getting the number one role, but now they're adding other pieces with Jalen Hurts still as their quarterback who doesn't really produce a lot of multiple wide receivers on one team.
I mean, the thing is, Devonta Smith hurts nose, and as the sort of one, probably he's the one B on that team. Was the one B. He still had 3 1,000 yard seasons in the last four. He had 77 receptions last year. And up that with he's got the connection with Hurts. Hurts isn't a high volume guy, but all you need out of him to step up would be let's give him 15. Let's get him up to 90 receptions and give him 1,200 yards and a couple more touchdowns, and that's I think he's gonna be positively affected. Like Makai Lemon is a guy like I don't. He worries me a little bit because there's been sort of stuff. There's stuff that trickles around about his attitude. And you never know with some of these guys. Like we had like Leggett and Coleman came in with like these. They were supposed to be like these great guys, but they were these like wonky kind of personalities. And we loved them coming in because they had that cool attitude coming in, and both of them sort of is that could be Makai Lemon. Did the Eagles take him just because they heard the Steelers wanted him? Did they jump up? Because the Steelers, I love that story how the Steelers were on the phone with Makai Lemon, like, hey, we're going to draft you, blah, 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 blah. And then the Eagles were like, boom, draft him. Like, I'm more fearful, to be honest, what you said earlier, Stowers, the tight end, they got him to be the eventual replacement in tight end one. He's my favorite tight end. I'm in the minority of not being, and it's not because of Sadiq being terrible or Stowers being that much better, but the value. Like Sadiq is just going so high that I don't see the star power in him that others do. It's just the love of tight end premium. But I think Smith is going to move up. I just put on too many screens and I lost my rankings here, but I. I'm on board with that. I don't think he was hurt. I think having that second guy, and I'm going into the offseason pretty much saying there is no AJ Brown. I think if we look, we can't look otherwise as being an AJ Brown on that team because everything's pretty much been said. He's going to be an Eagle, and the dark horse could be maybe the Rams do something just ridiculous. I would love to see the Rams swoop, not a Patriot, sorry. And currently, I mean, you're looking, holy moly, is he down here? I can't even find him. Mekhi Lemon is number 39 and is wide receiver 39. Devonta Smith is 16, so he's a mid wide receiver too. And do I think Devonta Smith could be better than T. Higgins? Yep. Do I think he could be better than George Pickens? I honestly do, because if you watch Pickens with CeeDee Lamb, I think they're a good duo, but I think they overpaid. There's another guy, but I don't want to mention him. We'll talk about him in a little bit here, but you're looking in that range. Could he be better than AJ Brown? I love AJ Brown to New England. I think AJ Brown to New England could be to the moon. So I'm on board, and everybody's worried about Jalen Hurts, but he's carried him around pretty good. That I think it's a good little place for him. Uh, do you want to throw out another guy, or do you want to hear my next one, which is fun?
Go ahead.
So my next one is not a specific person; it's a group of people. I wrote about it the other week, so if you want to hear the write up of what I did for Fantasy Pros a couple weeks ago, and that is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. The starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and it might be this year's starting quarterback. It might be next year's starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns because they just drafted two. Not they didn't just go with one. They went with two wide receivers to help the growth of this organization. Like I love where that is heading them because you look at who they had in there. Jerry Jeudy, who you love, and he's one of those guys that we each have those guys we love, but they just so underperform. Cedric Tillman, a young receiver I like. Isaiah Bond, who would have been taken a lot higher if it had been for the whole court case. Malachi Corley, some dude named Greg Lavard, Jamari Thresh, Tyler. There's nobody there. So the Browns said, hey, here's what we're going to do. First round, KC Concepcion, sort of a quick move kind of player on the team. Second round, big guy, Denzel Boston. We now have two receivers. Are they both going to hit? Probably not. Statistics would say otherwise. But let's say they do. Let's say they now have two young receivers, kind of sort of the way that I don't know why Houston did it last year. Now the quarterback, whether it's Watson, Shador Sanders, or more probably some dude next year, has two young receivers that can grow with a team that hopefully is going the right way as they are going on the upward tick. Nothing better than having young, affordable receivers that you can mold into the way the new system's going to go. So I think the Browns quarterback, whoever that human being is, I don't want it, but I would love to see it be Shador just to shut people up. But apparently right now Watson is blowing the doors off of him, which doesn't say a lot for that team. But that's why in the article I said it could be some dude who's playing college football right now. I mean, we're looking at the kid from Oregon. We're looking like Arch, I guess. We're looking at the kid from Ole Miss as a later pick. There's so many quarterbacks. There's a pile of quarterbacks. You can see my knowledge of college right now. I'm staying in this year at the moment, but next year is the quarterback draft. So that guy could be like, hey, I'm coming in. These kids have learned the NFL, and it's wide receiver is not something you jump out at, and he's ready to roll. Is there any hope in Cleveland?
No. I mean, of course there's hope. There's always hope. Sure. You want to hope the receivers are good, but their current quarterbacks are bad, to say the least. Deshaun Watson hasn't been good in 7 years. Why is he going to be good now? Right? I didn't even know he was going to come back. I didn't even think he'd play.
I thought he was done. Yeah.
Shador Sanders. I mean, I want him to be good. He's cool, but I mean, I don't know if any of these guys are any good. So I mean, if you don't know if any of the players are going to be any good, it's hard to have hope. You would think the receivers might be good, but I mean, the receivers in the NFL. I mean, how many receivers are busted? And then how many receivers are busted because they got bad quarterbacks? I mean, let's go back and look at my boy Pete Warwick from the early 2000s. That guy was amazing. They went to Cincinnati and had terrible quarterback play and turned into be a turd. I love Pete Warwick. He was so awesome.
He was so good.
But yeah, I don't want no parts of any of this. I'll skip it all.
I mean, but I love. I'm hoping some quarterback. Because look at this. I'm looking at their starting depth, their starting lineup. Nobody is over well, except for Jerry Judy. So we'll throw Jerry. Well, all but one person, whoever the other receiver is, if they do three or the second tight end, Quinshon Judkins, second year running back. Harold Fannin Jr., second year tight end. And then you got Concepcion and Boston, rookies. So they're going to have a young core. And this is like watching that. You know how you see that NBA team that has like those few years where they learn, like the Golden State Warriors, where those years where they learned to play basketball and then it
Yeah,
clicked.
I think a better team would be like the OKC Thunder, because I mean
Yeah, that's the more
it took
recent one. I
yeah
don't watch basketball anymore.
it took them a while, but now they're on a heater right now.
Yeah, I'll be watching basketball again in about 2 years or whenever LeBron hangs up the shoes. I'll be back in.
You might never do
I,
it, dude.
I know he's gonna be like 85 and playing. He's gonna be Gordie Hallis. So yeah, that's my take. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. You got a guy for us?
Well, I mean, if you want to go with a group, I'll go for a group, and I'll go to your team, and you let me know if there any hope for any
Same
of this.
idea.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos. They got Dobbins. They drafted R.J. Harvey last year. Everybody was excited. Um, Dobbins always gets hurt. R.J. Harvey was not what anybody really expected, and then they drafted Jonah Coleman. Uh, so now they got another running back who they're probably going to use. What's the hope? What's your hope of the Denver backfield?
Oh, I'm on the Jonah Coleman hype
Okay.
train like no tomorrow, mainly because I just drafted him and I paid way too much to get some
Mainly
picks
how
back.
that works, huh? I mean, you just
Isn't it
put it in
amazing?
your
No,
draft and jump on the train, man.
you look at Colt, you look at Dobbins. The whole thing is Dobbins doesn't play entire seasons. He's a lame duck running back. Coleman maybe this year gets some, but next year they're going to go with the Coleman Harvey show. Like apparently they don't have the trust in Harvey, or else they'd have continued on. I mean, McLaughlin is an okay change of pace guy. Like if you need like a jobber, McLaughlin's your guy. You know, we talk about him every blue moon, surefire waste, or he gets in. You're like, stop giving him the stupid ball, give it to RJ Harvey. But you can never have too many running backs. I think. I mean, if you get a healthy Dobbins, not that's an oxymoron. A healthy Dobbins, R.J. Harvey does his job out of the backfield, and Jonah Coleman is the guy that we saw play in Washington and looked so strong, more or less. Was it 2 years ago? He was really good, right?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
got flipped a little bit last year.
yeah, yeah. 2 years ago was really that guy. That guy looked really good. So you get that in there, you've got a amazing backfield that will keep the pressure off of Bo Nix, and I mean, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton, and a bunch of dudes. Maybe Troy Franklin, and I love and I love their tight end Justin Jolly could be an intriguing little guy later in the draft, not for redraft but for dynasty. But it's a mess for fantasy. I think in real life, the Broncos are a contender, and they needed a healthy running back to take that pressure off of Nix. They need Nix to play in the championship game for them to do anything. So that would have made a big difference, I think. Over maybe they should have drafted a backup quarterback. They still have Jared Stidham.
Yeah, I would probably go after Jonah Coleman too. I was never a big R.J. Harvey fan. Dobbins never, never. I don't really have him anywhere either. So yeah, I'd probably go Jonah Coleman too. But I'm
And
not. I don't know if I would reach for Jonah Coleman. I mean, if he fell, I mean, if he happened to slip and I was there, I would probably pick him up. Where did you draft him at?
you realize he is like the RB 3-4 in. That's how shallow his class is. I got him at the end of the first round. That's where he's falling. He like into the first round, early second is where because you got all the basically after pick 7, like it's Sadiq, it's just a cliff in these rookie drafts.
Yeah.
It's a disaster. So you're sitting there and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead. I need a running back. Coleman has a clear path to play because Dobbins will get hurt. I should have drafted Singleton, but I foolishly took Boston too because I like him. And I don't have any of him. But that was my original plan. And so yes, that's where I ended up good. But that's where he's fallen if you're looking in rookie rankings. I mean, he is. I got that up on the other one here. He is currently drafted at number 12. He is 12th overall, so right at the end of the first round because of just the shallowness of this class. So, I mean, I liked R.J. Harvey last year mainly because R.J. Harvey was behind J.K. Dobbins. Like that's really you want to get whoever the backup running back is to J.K. Dobbins, and you're rolling. So let's move on. We're gonna do a couple. We'll do a couple quick hits to close it out here. Two guys that to me are very similarly stacked along this whole thing would be Kenneth Walker the third and Ashton Genty. Both of them, Kenneth Walker got paid to be the lead back. Ashton Genty got drafted to be the lead back. And then both teams sort of decided to give them some compliments, which I think is going to lower their ceiling a little bit. In the Broncos, I'm sorry, Mike, your boy Mike Washington, he got drafted by the Raiders, and then you're going. I just lost his name in my brain. The kid who got drafted by the Chiefs is Emmett Johnson, and Emmett Johnson's like the number 5 overall rookie running back this year, and that kid's really good. I was going back looking at some of his stuff, I was like, man, if I'm a Kenneth Walker owner, and I was so excited, and he's going up draft boards, I think he's going to plummet some because Kenneth Walker's never really totally been, other than playoff run, successful as a solo back. Throw this Emmett Johnson kid in there; he's a pretty big stud. Genty, I think Genty's the least hurt here, but they're sort of bunched in the same. But I think they're gonna put Mike Washington there because you don't want to kill your running back, especially on a team that's not gonna win. You want to be like, hey, we think Mendoza's got to learn. The Raiders have to realistically go next year. We air quote compete, so let's not murder Genty. Let's let Mike Washington take something off, and then when we really got to run, put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, ideally you hope that happens, but that's probably not going to happen. I mean, I just feel that Mike Washington just disappears and Ashton Genty just gets like 300 carries, gets every goal line touch and catches all the balls, but yeah, I don't think much changes with how they use Genty. I don't think they pull back. They've already.
Kubiak said they are though.
Yeah, cool. A lot of people say they're going to do a lot of things. But I mean, Kubiak was splitting time in Seattle, so I mean that's true too. I mean, if he sees something in Mike Washington and he's playing, then we as fantasy owners know that there's a chance. You know what I'm saying?
So now you're saying there's a chance.
if he's playing, I mean, like I said, I think they're just going to use Genty like that because I mean Genty's way better than Kenneth Walker. I mean, if Kenneth Walker wasn't getting hurt all the time, and Kenneth Walker would probably get a lot of the carries, but he's always getting hurt, so you can't really trust him to get all those carries. You know, I feel like you start handing the ball to Genty and he's never getting hurt, you're just going to keep handing the ball to Genty. Mike Washington might get a cool, here you go there, here you go. I mean, it's something like that, but yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, Mike Washington breaks in and says he looks great in preseason, he's breaking these long runs, and he's going to get opportunity at some point.
Okay, yeah, because I agree. I think Walker is hurt more than Genty, but I can totally see it in the way that they did up there.
We'll see. Walker's definitely hurt more than Genty. Was Walker always gets hurt, man? I mean,
I think regardless, like literally and metaphorically hurt. Like I think that Walker's totes go down, especially early in the season if there's no Mahomes, which we don't know. Okay, give us one last guy to close out the show.
I don't think this is really going to happen, but I mean, it's pretty much the same case as Devonta Smith, and that's Chris Olave. I love the Saints. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to be awesome. They're going to be like this year's Patriots or last year's Patriots. They're just going to come out of nowhere and just win 13 games. But there's kind of so they drafted Jordan Tyson in the first round. Chris Olave finally had his breakout season. There was not really a legitimate number 2 on the team last year. I mean, they had, random players, but Olave was clearly the guy. He stayed healthy, and he finished as a wide receiver 6, 7, 8 maybe. Yeah, somewhere around in there. But with Jordan Tyson, they're bringing in a little more competition. With Jordan Tyson, they probably want to get him some playing time on the outside. Of course, they're 2 different receivers. But will Shuck be able to have the volume to hold 2 wide receivers? And does Jordan Tyson take work away from Chris Olave? Are you that excited that Tyson is the guy?
I think what you have is Tyler Shuck loves Olave.
So I love Tyler Shuck. So I love Chris Olave. So
yeah, I love both those guys, and I think both those guys can eat in this offense because the pressure is going to be a little bit off Shuck because now they have a running back that's not 33 years old and not playing the role he's not supposed to play. Kamara has done great over the years. I think his career would have been extended if they'd always had that little bit of thunder. He did great in between the tackles, but I think if they'd have used him as he was supposed to be used, and he was an excellent, like he was a running back 1-2 as just the pass catching running back. He was so good. But now you got in the newest A chain, not my A chain, but that A chain, Travis A chain, in the Saints. So there's weapons galore. He might hurt Olave more because I think where they catch the ball could be similar in those lower intermediate routes. And then Tyson's going to be the big bodied receiver, but I don't foresee it happening this year because Shuck has that connection with Olave. Shuck's a second-year quarterback. You're going to go back to your bread and butter, and you're going to want to play with your new toy. And Tyson, who was drafted so extremely high, and they're going to say, "Hey, throw him the ball." But I think there's going to be that love he has for Olave that should keep him fairly safe. But then again, right now Olave he's wide receiver 12. He is a wide receiver.
Where was Devonta Smith, wide receiver 16?
16, yeah.
So who would you rather have?
Ooh.
Or are they about the same? I mean, either or.
I'd rather have Olave, I think, because he's done it when they were terrible, like full-fledged done it. I think Devonta Smith's floor for me this year is last year's stat line. So, 77,000
yards. Smith does it when A.J. Brown is not there, right? And just Olave's never had to deal with another guy. He's never had like an alpha receiver on the other side, like holding him back. So I think it could be interesting.
And as long as Olave doesn't get hit in the head, that's been his problem all these years. It's the concussion fear from 2 years ago, and he showed him off this year. So, hey, well, there's some guys. We have other guys to talk about in the off season. We have other guys on our list we're not going to talk about for now. But hey, a fun thing coming. If you keep listening to the end of the month, we're going to have a special guest. We have some guys from a game called Alpha Clash, who's a sponsor of the Fantasy Surf Force, coming to join us. So before then, check out the Alpha Clash card game. Check out the Alpha Clash. They have some books out, and they have a comic book series coming soon by one of my favorite writers, actually, Mark Wade, who I got to see speak at a panel. So he'll tell us more about that at the end of the month. That'll be Memorial Day weekend after that weekend. But so special.
I got to brush up on my comic book knowledge, or should I come into it with?
You don't have to know anything. These guys are the cool thing about these guys is they're doing business a little different. Like they're wanting to independently take care of their stuff. So Target doesn't.
So I'm going to come. It's going to be like a good cop, bad cop situation. You'll come in with all the knowledge of comic books.
Oh, I had to know.
I'll come in with absolutely zero knowledge of anything that we're.
So what's the difference?
Yes, true. Good point. I'll just play my role. There we go. I just play my role. That's perfect. Good point.
Actually, you always give me the credit. You've been carrying us this offseason more or less for the last couple months.
I don't carry that. I've come to the realization, this is what I tell everybody. I'm clearly a way better number 2 than I am a number 1.
Oh, Devonta Smith.
I mean, yeah. And I might even be like a better number 3. So, I mean, the less pressure that's on me is just the better for everybody. I want to be the guy in the corner that nobody notices, but continues to do his job pretty well. That's me. Don't ask me any questions because I don't know the answer.
So you're Peyton Manning's. You're like that. Who was always the third receiver for Peyton Manning? It was Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and then
Brandon
some
Stokely.
Random dude.
I could be. I'm like a legit Brandon Stokely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. There you go.
Yeah, that's perfect.
He's the man.
Perfect.
Okay, give us some words of wisdom, Brandon Stokely.
All right. So as I'm out here refereeing, I spend a lot of time refereeing. I do basketball and soccer for both boys and girls in high school. And I've come to the realization this week that teenage boys are the absolute worst kind of kids at any point in time.
There goes our viewership of teenage boys.
I'm sorry. I was a boy, so I understand where it's coming from. I understand boys will be boys. I'm not trying to do it send it out negatively, but the attitude and the laziness, and it's just crazy are. Like I said, it's not a negative. I mean, I know they grow out of it eventually. Well, some do. I'm not going to say they all do, but we've given out the most red cards and yellow cards this week to boys that I've ever given out in my life. It's just, do you ever have a desire to teach teenage boys?
I'd rather teach teenage boys than middle school boys because the
So it's just
teenagers.
boys in general.
Yeah, boys. I always find myself when I did a kickball club years ago, and the little boys would always argue. So I couldn't, and then I would be like, okay, you're going to argue about everything. You're going to be immediately out. You're not even given that little inch. When the foot might have been close to the base. No, you're out. Get out of there. You're fighting. You're arguing everything. It's just like, just play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's trying to just argue everything. Yeah,
Yeah, it's bad. But like,
let's stick to little kids. Teach them.
yeah, so as always, trust yourself and trust the process.